She announced at her bridal shower, "I'm marrying him for security but keeping my options open." So I quietly returned the ring, canceled everything, and left her crying outside my door. I am 32, and until recently, I believed I had found the woman I was meant to spend the rest of my life with. For 6 months, I had been living inside a dream. Wedding plans coming together, deposits paid, invitations sent, even late nights spent discussing honeymoon destinations. I truly believed everything was perfect. But that illusion shattered one Tuesday night at exactly 11:47 p.m. when my fiancé's sister called me out of the blue. I remember the time because I was lying awake in bed, dreaming about our future together, when her name suddenly flashed across my screen. She never called me, especially not this late at night, which meant something was very wrong. When I answered, her voice was trembling. She told me she needed to share something that had happened at the bridal shower earlier that day. My fiancé had hosted it at her best friend's house. 30 women gathered together, champagne flowing, gifts piled up, and laughter filling the rooms. Meanwhile, I had been out with my groomsmen at a sports bar, celebrating my bachelor party without a care in the world. But while I was toasting to our future, something had been said at that bridal shower that would break me to my core. Her sister took a deep breath and finally let the words spill out. She couldn't keep it secret anymore because it was eating her alive. The women had been playing a light-hearted game, asking the bride-to-be questions about marriage and relationships. At first, it was the usual stuff, but then someone asked the most basic, honest question of all. "Why are you getting married?" My fiancée laughed loudly, as if she found it amusing, and in front of everyone declared, "I'm marrying him for security, but I'm keeping my options open." According to her sister, the entire room fell silent. Some women shifted uncomfortably in their seats, but my fiancé continued talking as if nothing was wrong. She explained that I had a steady job, good benefits, and could provide a reliable life for her, but she wasn't ready to close the door on other possibilities. She even mentioned a coworker she had been texting, someone who made her feel alive, in ways I apparently did not. My stomach sank as her sister recounted every word. She said that to 30 people, marriage was simply a safety net for my fiancé, something to fall back on while she figured out what she really wanted. I sat there in the dark, my bedroom silent around me, realizing that 3 years of love, trust, and sacrifice might have been nothing but a carefully built illusion. I thought about the house I had bought 6 months earlier with her in mind, the overtime hours I worked to pay for the wedding she dreamed of, and the countless sacrifices I made to shape my life around our future together. It all crumbled with a single phone call. Her sister apologized over and over, saying she couldn't stand to watch me walk into a marriage built on lies. I thanked her quietly and hung up. Sleep never came that night. The next morning, I sat at my kitchen table staring at our wedding planning folder. Inside were venue contracts, catering menus, and thousands of dollars worth of planning. Tucked in the back was the receipt for the engagement ring, a document I had saved only for insurance purposes, never imagining I would use it to undo everything. But I realized the policy allowed for a full refund within 90 days, and I was on day 87. Without a word to anyone, I drove downtown to the jeweler. The same salesperson who helped me pick out the ring processed the return without asking questions. I walked away with a receipt in my hand, cold, hard proof that my engagement was over. Back at home, I scanned the receipt, attached it to an email, and typed a single sentence. "The engagement is off. No explanations, no blame, no drama." I sent it to her work email and then blocked her number. At exactly 2:15 p.m., the silence was broken by the sound of my doorbell. She was standing on my porch, face pressed against the glass, shouting words I refused to hear. For an hour she pounded, rang, and pleaded, but I never opened the door. Soon after, the voicemails began to pour in, at first full of confusion, then anger, then bargaining. She claimed it was a joke, that her sister misunderstood, that she loved me and wanted to fix things. I deleted each one without finishing it. That evening, mutual friends texted me asking what had happened. Apparently, she had already spread a story claiming I was having a breakdown and making irrational choices. I ignored it all. I had no desire to defend myself. People could believe whatever they wanted. The truth would surface eventually. Over the following days, flowers, chocolates, and even a singing telegram arrived at my office. Each time I redirected them elsewhere. By Friday, she had shown up in person at my office building, waiting in the lobby for 3 hours before security finally convinced her to leave. Her parents soon became involved. Her mother called me, sobbing, saying I was throwing away 3 years over a silly misunderstanding. Her father tried a different tactic, suggesting men shouldn't take such words seriously, that women just needed to feel like they had options. I listened calmly but stood firm. Their daughter had revealed who she truly was, and I believed her. Even her best friend eventually reached out, hesitant and awkward, admitting she had been at the shower when my fiancé declared she was keeping her options open. When I asked if she thought I should still marry someone who saw me as a safety net, she fell silent and hung up. By Monday, her desperation had reached a new level. She somehow managed to tailgate into my apartment building and waited outside my door for hours. When I returned home, she looked like a ghost. Eyes red, makeup smeared, hair unkempt. She immediately launched into a frantic stream of words. She claimed she was sorry, that she had only been showing off to her friends, that she never meant any of it. She promised to quit her job, cut off the coworker, even elope immediately to prove her commitment. But when I asked her one direct question, whether her sister had lied, she froze. She couldn't deny it because dozens of people had heard her exact words. I told her that I believed people's unguarded moments revealed their true selves. And in her unguarded moment, she had exposed the reality, that I wasn't her choice out of love, but out of convenience. She cried. She begged. But I walked past her into my apartment, closing the door behind me. That night, her sister called again, apologizing for the drama but confirming something I had suspected. This was not the first time. My fiancé had always kept men on the side, always maintained flirtations, always needed backup plans. She had done the same in her last relationship. Her sister hoped marriage might change her, but the bridal shower made it clear that she never intended to change. Soon, she began camping out in my apartment parking lot, calling my work phone every 20 minutes. Sometimes she cried, sometimes she yelled, sometimes she threatened to harm herself. My secretary grew concerned, but I recognized it as manipulation. The police eventually conducted a wellness check and found her living out of her car, surrounded by coffee cups and fast food wrappers. Building management threatened trespassing charges if she returned. She then moved across the street to a Starbucks, watching my apartment from a window. She even bought a new phone to continue calling me from unknown numbers. I reported it and cut off contact completely. By the weekend, her backup plan had fallen into place. The coworker she had mentioned at the shower reached out to comfort her. She called me to tell me about it, hoping I would grow jealous. Instead, it confirmed everything. She was already pivoting to another man, exactly as she had said she would. Eventually, even her parents realized the truth after speaking to guests from the bridal shower. They stopped defending her and began urging her to move on. Her sister, meanwhile, became an unexpected ally, keeping me updated out of guilt for exposing her sister's words in the first place. 2 weeks later, the phone calls still came occasionally, but the rest of the drama had finally settled. She was dating the coworker publicly now, posting pictures of dinners and trips together. Yet, between those posts, she still reached out to me claiming she wanted another chance. I ignored it all. My mutual friends had learned the truth, and many told me they respected how calmly I had handled it. No revenge, no public explosions, just a quiet exit once I saw her true colors. The wedding deposits were largely refunded. The house I bought fits me perfectly as a single man, and I've begun to enjoy the freedom that comes with knowing I dodged a bullet. The money from the engagement ring now sits safely in my savings account. Maybe I'll use it for a vacation, maybe for renovations, maybe for something that truly brings me joy. One thing I know for certain is that I will never again spend it on someone who views love as a safety net while keeping other options open. Her sister was right all along. This wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern. and walking away was the best decision of my life. If you liked this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.